What up? Welcome to A2thaShow.
A2thaShow.
With the Christmas episode. Oh, I didn't even realize that my headphones fucked up my whole. I gotta have the ball on the correct side, not the gay side.
Is there a gay side for the Christmas ball?
I felt like
there's a gay side for everything, so you never know.
Yeah, that's how earrings worked. It was so funny.
I remember that
just something
from when I got my ears pierced.
The other day, I don't remember what we were watching. We were watching some show, and a guy walks on. I go, "Oh, that guy's gay." And I was like, "What do you mean?" I go, "He's right side earring." Like, it just immediately it's just coded in our brain from the 90s.
It was that was definitely a 90s thing. Like, I don't even think they get talked about like that anymore. Like, now they just get both ears and whatever. But yeah, I remember that from when I was getting my ears pierced. It was like, no, it's got to be the left. Like, you don't understand.
Yeah,
you can't.
Very important.
But because I'm right-handed, to me, it just made sense to do shit on the right. Like, I didn't know about that until I knew about that.
Yeah, I always think I should have been left-handed, but I am right-handed. It's one of those things where it's like, I think, I don't know. I shot my penmanship so bad, and there's just certain moments where, like, when I play basketball, one summer I hurt my shoulder. I didn't play basketball for like school, like just like pickup games. I was a street baller. And one summer I hurt my shoulder and I couldn't shoot with my right arm anymore. Oh, we lost Oko.
Oh shit!
This is
gonna happen every now
I learned
to
shoot with left-handed, and I was way better at it. And after that, I was like, I wonder what else.
Should have been a lefty.
Yeah, I wonder what else I'm wrong about. Anyway, so Soko, we had to, of course, start with you disappeared on us, but we explained it last week or whenever that it was just the new Twitter chat encryption. You were ahead of us. You were like 2 weeks ahead of us on the update or something, and then basically just locked you out from talking to us.
Yeah, it made it to where, like, I could see y'all, but y'all couldn't see me and all kind of shit.
Yeah, you're in the future.
It made messages that I sent to myself, like, now they're kind of like disappeared. I can't even see. So I used to use the fucking Twitter messages. I'd message myself verses and, just different notes and shit like that. And it made it all like, now it's like private. I'm like, but I sent it to myself. How can it be private?
That's me.
It makes no sense. Like, I am me, but whatever.
Yeah. I need to really back up all my notes apps. I mentioned this a little bit on last week's episode, but I feel like my third or fourth or whatever act in music is going to be like taking all my old lyrics, writing them up and putting them through the AI machine and have them spit, maybe the robot can do my lyrics better because that's like what we'll all do someday. But it's going to be a motherfucker because what I have written down is not what I say necessarily. Yeah. It's close,
but it's not the exact.
The gist is there, right? And then, so I used to try to write up my lyrics for DistroKid. They'd put it out on the streaming services that offer the lyrics, but they would decline them all the time. Like, nope, format's wrong. And I'm like, they're my lyric. What do you mean?
What are you talking about?
They're mine. And so that was always frustrating. So anyway, we'll see if that ever happens. Now, I briefly at the end of last week's episode touched on this Netflix to buy Warner Brothers thing, but I feel like, that's the big news. And
big news,
originally, again, it was Netflix about Warner Brothers, but then like the next day, Paramount was like, they're going to do a hostile takeover where they offer more money straight to the stockholders and, where it's like so much money they can't, financially say. You're right. And there's a little bit more to it because Netflix's bid is for like certain stuff, not everything. And I was listening to a podcast that like goes over the industry is what they call it, the town. And the way they explained it, they were like, think of it as one company is going to be Warner Brother, all the stuff selling. And then there's another second company called Shitco. And that's all the leftover stuff Netflix doesn't want. And so they think
that name is hilarious.
Right. That's how they said it.
Shit.
Yeah, that's what they said. Funny. And so I'm going to steal it. And so if you think of it that way, Netflix is only buying the good stuff, and then it would be up to Warner Brothers to turn around and sell Shitco to whoever else wants all that stuff, And whereas in Paramount's coming in and being like, we will buy it all at this price, including Shitco, like they're going to get the whole thing. And so that's interesting. And then there's also all this argument over like which one loses more jobs, and everyone wants to make Netflix the big bad person here. But Netflix would keep a lot more people's jobs because they want to keep the theatrical part. They want to keep the HBO channel because they they've never had a real TV channel, before or whatever.
Yeah.
And there's certain things like that. Whereas in Paramount, part of their whole bid is that they will be realigning it all and streamlining it because they already have a bunch of those same jobs. So it's all redundant. So like, for instance, they would be shutting down.
They've got that whole setup plus TV.
Right. So they'd be shutting down Warner Brothers theatrical releases, but then absorbing them. So maybe they would still put out, some of them. But so in some way, I don't know, it's like a weird thing. And then there's like a weird political element where the person that's running Paramount is kind of buddies with Trump. And that's how they so people don't want it to go down because of that. But as someone who has all of these apps, I pay for all the apps we're talking about at the moment. I think HBO and Paramount do fit together better. That is my, I do think like if you went to Paramount and you could see your Showtime shows and your HBO shows, that like makes sense, That we grew up in that world of those were the movie channels or whatever. But Netflix,
the premium.
Yeah, there's just some. And also, I mean, this is nothing against Netflix. Netflix, you just get on it and it looks like the layout of Netflix. But all these other apps have like a browse by channel, browse by different sort of things. You know what I mean? That Netflix doesn't have. So
yeah, that's true.
Like, because Warner Bros. This is coming with like Studio Ghibli shit and the DC stuff and the Game of Thrones and the everything. I mean, it's all the Harry Potter.
I saw where like HBO already put like a few movies that were original HBO movies. Like now Netflix has them showing. So I didn't know if that was like the beginning of it.
Well, that's the thing. So also during this bidding, I can't remember, David Zaslav, I think is the name of the guy that's running Warner's at the moment, something like that. And he's basically been buddy with the Netflix people during this. So he like accepted their bid, and Paramount is accusing them and whatever, their countersuit or whatever is, that they didn't give them a fair chance to bid because they're like letting Netflix, and that Netflix is going to be giving this guy a job after the sale goes through. So there's like
some backdoor shit going on.
Right. So it's like, yeah, they pushed on that HBO shit, or whatever. And they're like, yeah, let's just go ahead and get this going. So yeah, it's all very interesting in the TV world. But I know eventually we'll talk about more TV stuff, but that's going to be so long of a segment anyway. I feel like we had to get that out of here at the moment.
No, that's big news. Like, especially because it's Netflix's first time diving into like a big movie studio like that, actually known one. So I know that made it hit a little different.
Well, and they never
big boy checkbooks.
Right. Yeah. They never acquired anything like this before, and word is they looked into trying to buy Disney, which is insane. I was gonna say the R word. I don't know if that'll get us banned, but yeah, I was gonna say the R word from the 90s is what that sounded like. Yeah.
But insane works.
I don't know how they were going to pull that off. Word is Disney is hemorrhaging a lot of money. They have not made, they bought all that Marvel and Star Wars shit, and they haven't done as much with it as they necessarily, or it hasn't went the way they projected or whatever.
It's hard to imagine anybody buying Disney, but I guess anybody can go down. Like, nobody's invincible.
Yeah, dude, TV's dead. Old school. I like it, of course.
We're old school guys, man.
Yeah, it's like in our group chat. I don't know if you saw it all this week, but we're talking with Brad a little bit. Speaking of TV shows, and I'm talking about like, I've been watching some good TV shows. That's really restoring my faith in TV. And Brad's like, I can't watch it. I watch these streamers. They got IRL streams. And like, to me, that's insane to like, that's what you do with your evening. I totally get it. You're at work or something and you're like, hey, I'm going to watch this clips of whatever guy, I kind of get that a little bit, but this, I did like, no, my evening is planned around that. That is, it's just a different world we're not in.
It doesn't work for me.
Yeah. I'm not trying to hate. It's just, and he's like with the future, speaking of,
he's on the current side of history.
Right.
Like, we're the dinosaurs in that
right
conversation,
in this,
but
which sucks.
Yeah,
but.
I'm just not with it.
Yeah, speaking of age, I don't know how this reminded me of it, but the Spotify Wrapped came out a couple weeks ago, which I think it should be at the very end of the year. It should come out between Christmas and New Year's Eve. That's my new thing.
I've never understood why they won't just wait, like why they got to do it 2 months before the end of the year. Like, it makes no sense.
Yeah, to me. The Spotify Wrapped shit came out, and it said, like, me as a listener, that my listener age is 16 years old. So I listen to the music of a 16-year-old, is what Spotify told me. So that's just so y'all know. I'm hip with the kids, guys.
Yeah, you're with them.
And then also my top 5 is me, then you, then Sir Nasty and Bradster, or maybe Brad's up there 2 or 3. maybe Serenacy's 4, and then H2 is number 5. And so that's why I never feel like I can share it, because it feels like it's not cheating, but it's like it's not like
it is what it is.
It's not necessarily the representation of like my music tastes the best, but it is like, I don't know, they're on my songs and I listen to them, and I barely even listened to Spotify this last year, to be honest, but I have it because my wife loves it, and Skinny also is on my account, so you got to keep the family happy, you know.
And I didn't check my family accounts, but I'm almost positive that my top 5 would be the same, and I'm pretty sure Forgotten One's in there somewhere too as an honorable mention. I got a good bit of features with him, so
right.
I know he usually makes my definitely top 10 for sure. I don't know what spots, but yeah, I know mine probably looks exactly the same. We all support each other, man. I think that's a beautiful thing at the end of the day.
You got to. No one else will. Unfortunately. Unfortunately.
You're preaching it, brother.
Something that is not on my TV show list, but is a TV show talk, is this 50 Cent doc. So if it's not on yours, then
I saw it.
I say, oh man, I've been having a mouse just right over your face for like the last I don't know how long. So I have two mice in this whole setup, so it gets confusing. I was like, which one is that? And I started moving stuff. But yeah, I've only watched the first 2 episodes of the Diddy documentary. Okay. There are 4. I planned on just like blowing right through it, and I watched the first one on my own. And then when I started the second episode, my wife was around, and she was like, "Oh, this is interesting." After she acted like she wouldn't be as interested, you know. And so
you got her.
Yeah, so I've been kind of waiting on her, and she was gone this weekend. So it is interesting. I think the things that have stood out to me so far early on, I love the sort of behind the scenes like internet talk about it, of like how it's just 50 Cent being petty. You know, I think that's very fun. Like, he's the pettiest man alive, and that you don't want to get on his bad. So like, I think that's just very funny. As someone who's always been a fan of his, I don't know what the word is. His hijinks is what I wanted to say, but I don't know if that exactly is the right thing. But y'all get it. And but yeah, early
his style of getting back at people is definitely unique, and it's long lasting. He knows how to hold grudges in fun ways.
Right, he played the long game. But how Diddy blew up originally, like how he got fame, I think was very interesting, because I never heard that story.
Yeah, I never knew it either.
Like, if you don't know, he was gonna host like a charity concert or basketball game or whatever, something like that. And
along those lines, yep.
And there was like a huge crowd, and the building, I guess, was fucking built wrong. Because I mean, I don't know how this is Diddy's fault, but I mean, give me something. But at the end of a stairwell, the doors open inwards. So when all these people rushed out, they hit a door that opened inwards, and then people got trampled to death. Yep, and so it really wasn't his fault, but he like came on there and he like took responsibility and was like, I feel sorry. I threw this great party and this happened. And then all of a sudden he became the guy that throws parties because people died at this thing he did.
One. And I think the way the angle that it was his fault was that they were claiming for the amount of people he knew would be there, he didn't have the right amount of security. But like you said, the style of the building was like one way in, one way out. And it wasn't meant for that many people to be trying to leave or come in at the same time.
Right.
And apparently there was like a lot of people, like a lot more than what the venue could fit, that wanted to get in. And it was like a Black Friday situation where they're just like rushing it one way or another.
And it really stuck out because this week, I watched it, but at my job, we have this brand new building that we're like having to set up. And there are times you're like, why'd they do this? And the answer is always like, oh, because of a fire alarm or emergency, the doors have to do this. Like, that's always the answer. So it totally is like, I don't understand how a fucking giant venue in New York City did not have the doors opening the correct way. But who knows? I'm not a fucking architect, man.
I'm not a fire marshal.
That's right.
Shouts out to Fire Marshal Bill.
And then, that's right. He's the best. And then also, I think of something just outside the documentary that's not necessarily in it, is this whole Marlon Wayans like sticking up for Diddy on the internet to fight against 50 Cent. And then he like,
I've not heard of that.
Yeah. So Marlon Wayans is like extremely offended that 50 Cent is doing this to Diddy because he's going after a man in the culture. And how could you do that to a fellow powerful black man? And this is one of those moments where I don't want to get too white guy on you, but it's like, this is a weakness of the like unified monolith black thought of like, we all must think this. It's like, if someone's fucking doing crazy shit, I think you're like, and even if they're not, you don't have to fucking defend someone because their skin color. That's crazy. I fucking, you know me hate white people I shit on all the time. And if I had to stop and be like, no, I can't. They're a fellow white man. That would be insane. Be crazy.
It would.
So, and then he like used some AI imagery of 50 Cent and Diddy in a hot tub together. And then 50 Cent responded with, I don't need AI for you. And then it's like him in a fucking bathtub with fucking rainbow colored balls all over him. And then people, because of the woke generation, are like, what's wrong with that picture? Like,
what's wrong
I'm
with
trying to make fun
in
of being gay. Yeah. And it's like, so it's very fun though. It also makes Marlon Wayans look guilty as shit. Like, these are the people who are like, well, they probably weren't even doing anything on that Epstein Island anyway. It's like, whoa, what were you been doing?
Slow your roll, buddy.
Something else great about the whole thing is there's all this footage of Diddy like before his court case, like recently, and he's saying a lot of shit that you're like, how did they get this footage? And it's because he hired the videographer to film him and then didn't pay the guy.
Didn't pay him.
And then that guy went to 50 Cent, was like, I have 140 hours of video of Diddy behind the scenes
saying shit.
Yeah.
You probably don't want out, or you want it out in a certain context, because none of it made him look great, honestly.
Well, and then there's the Biggie stuff. Of course, that's what I just watched. That's what episode 2 is more about, is his relationship with Biggie and the Tupac stuff. And my wife was unfamiliar. She's like, wait, Diddy was tied to Tupac? And I was like, oh my God. It's one of those. I was like, Jesus Christ.
It's like watching wrestling with her. There's a whole background that's just not known. And
she was like, well, I'm familiar with Biggie because he had that Hypnotized song. Like, so she knew more about Biggie than Tupac, which I thought was very funny, just random. And it's all good. But the Biggie stuff, I could also see like Diddy, because a lot of people are probably giving him shit because he dances on stage, right, performing the song, which is very funny in hindsight. And then my wife's like, the lyrics aren't good of that song. And I was like, oh no. And he doesn't write his own stuff anyway. Someone else wrote that for him, like that's just how Diddy works. But I also see where he's like, no, I have to make money, so I have to take this opportunity. I do get that. And a lot of people were just giving him shit that like
making good business moves.
Right. And now I'm not saying he's not a horrible, evil person, but I think some of the things they're getting on is weird. Also, like he made Biggie's estate pay for his funeral. Here's the thing.
I saw that.
If let's say we all, Graveyard and myself, we all got super rich or whatever. If I'm rich and I have an estate, it should pay for my funeral. What are you fucking talking about?
That sounds normal.
That's normal as shit. And they're like, how dare you? And again, I'm no Diddy fan. I just think those are some of the weird things that people are getting stuck on. Where I'm like, there's way worse shit happening here. I don't know
how true it is, but I think the part they were more trying to give him shit about was that he was making it a line item like studio time and shit like that. It was like studio time, you owe for that. Funeral, you owe, like it was under the Biggie ledger of what he owes the record label.
Yeah, I could see. Yeah, so, they're washing it through the
made it a little more. Like I said, it's good business, but it was asshole-ish, kind of. It's like, your album's gonna pay for your funeral, but okay, so he labeled it that way. Either way, the album was gonna pay for the funeral because it was gonna make the money to give to the estate. I mean, it's the same shit.
And later they did the Biggie duets, and that made the money.
Made all the money.
And then I also have like no sympathy for the guy that like just got his 25% taken. He was just I'm taking your shit, sign this. And he was like, and he's all mad now. Again. And I'm like, well, I don't know. That's kind of on you. I mean, I understand you got bullied, but it's still like, I don't know how much sympathy I have.
It's like the Vanilla Ice shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
It's a lot like that, except for it's two black guys instead of black guys and a white guy.
Right.
Just hang you out the window, you just sign away this or you die. And then back then that worked and you couldn't really do much about it. And then by the time you could do something about it, statute of limitations, game over.
All right. I say we got to play a song. We, how this is going to go. So
music. After all, this is a music podcast. Make sure you send in your music.
I don't have it marked as that.
Send it.
If I have to be honest, I have it marked as a social and culture podcast. I don't know if that's accurate.
So.
But I could choose comedy. but I don't know if we're funny enough to claim that. But yeah, I'm just letting
I
everyone know.
agree it's a comedy podcast. Like it may not be hosted by like comedians or whatever the fuck, but I think it's entertaining in a comedic way. That's how I take it.
I think we try.
Or that's how I receive it as a fan of it.
Yeah, just pretend. God damn it. So on this episode, I'm glad that you hear it. What happened to all the Graveyard albums? They got pulled down.
Just bad shit with a distro. We were with everything from 24 to now. We're through CD Baby, and we thought if we left them, it would all stay up.
That's what they claim?
Because, yeah, that's how they frame it. But they, as we went to leave, all of a sudden they were like, yeah, we've been getting complaints from Apple Music, so we're going to take all your stuff down. And it's literally shit you can do about it at that point. Like, if they want your shit down, they're going to take it down. And we don't get shit from Apple Music. Like, I see weekly what comes from Apple Music, and I'm like, the weekly streams from Apple Music ain't worth a complaint to me. But, you know,
I know two people who listen to my shit on Apple Music, and that's it. And I think they download them. They don't even listen to them like streaming. Yeah,
like streaming wise. And I always, anytime there's a complaint, I'm like, hey, can we get a copy of, you know, the email or the correspondence that, you know, says exactly what they're complaining about, the exact track, you know, the days, whatever. And the answer's always the same. No, we don't share that. And it's like, all right. We can't prove it's real, and it's y'all platform, so y'all can do what y'all want. It sucks because it was a lot of music and a lot of great music, but now we just got to re-upload it, and rather than do it this year, we're just going to do it all 26, and it's going to take a hell of a lot of time, but eventually everything will be back up. Yeah, but for now, it's all Bandcamp. We prefer you buy the music anyway if you're a fan. That way you can have it when the internet goes down and the world goes to hell, and you'll have your downloaded music. Everything will always be on Bandcamp. We'll start slowly uploading what we can to the streaming sites as it comes, especially my shit, man. I was really upset about mine because I feel like I just hit a stride with, you know, the sound wise. You know, I've always enjoyed my music myself, but sound wise, I've been getting told it's getting better and better. And for all my new shit to be gone, it kind of pissed me off. Yeah. But it's on Bandcamp. So like I said, it's not like it don't exist. It just don't exist where most people go for it.
Right.
And we still got old shit on there. So we're not completely deleted, but 24 and 25 were some good years, were great years for Graveyard music that just ain't there right now.
Yeah, you'll get it back. Yeah, you'll find a distro.
Yeah, it'll come back. It just takes fucking time. Fucking pain in the ass.
Fuck them. Fuck those people. That's what I say. I don't know we get this song, but I just feel like all the music promotion at the moment is just so dead. Or like, I mean, really what you have to do, and maybe it's because of my own personal experience, is you have to make a video on TikTok of you performing the song. Or lip syncing it or something, like, and then someone has to hear that, like, hey, that's pretty good. Let me go find that. That's how I've found almost every new song that I like. That is how I've found it in the last year. You know, like the Spotify suggested songs are typically shitty because they now let people opt into it, which I do as well. And then all of a sudden you're getting some like really low quality suggestions because they're trying to keep their promise to people that they'll put them in front of, you know, ears or something. Yeah. And so that happens. And then my only complaint with what I'm saying on TikTok, and it's same reels or Facebook video, whatever the fuck, you know, it's all the same, is like sometimes you'll hear it and you'll be like, oh, this is awesome. Let me go look up. It's like, it'll be out next month, guys. And I'm like, you just fucked up. What's the chance I come across your fucking song again?
Yeah, how do you know I'll come back?
So that is my one suggestion to artists out there is put out the promo afterwards, which is hard. I suffer from this a lot. I used to always just like, before I get ready, it's coming. And then as soon as it's out, you're like, well, it's out.
That's how it goes, man. So, it's like, cause you're on to the next thing, especially when you still like, when you're still moving. Like, it's not like it was the only thing you were ever creating. Like once you do that and you put it out, you're already thinking about the next thing you're going to put out. So it's harder to keep promoting, you know, what you just released.
I recorded like 3.5 songs yesterday. Which is a very productive day. And I was listening to them this morning and I'm like, I'm rather murdering this shit or like my standard for myself is dropped where I'm like, pretty good. I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm real confident about it though at the moment.
I need to record, man. It's been way too long. Like I really need to get out here and record. It would mess me up a little bit. Like my time in my studio, like I used to work from it too. So I'd already be in here and like, I'd kind of like set shit up during work and then right after work, I could like do a whole bunch of shit.
Right.
Now that I'm actually going into the office and shit, like I get home and like it's not fucking clean out here anymore. Like I don't take care of it the way I used to.
Right.
So it just, I don't know. I gotta get back in a zone of really being able to get out here and do my shit, because I got so much shit written, so many beats. Appreciate you, by the way. Tons of A2thaMo makes beats. If you out there, you rap, sing, whatever you do, A2thaMo makes beats. It's in the name. He makes beats.
But unfortunately, Graveyard has like 500 of them, so I'm running low.
We got half, just about, or maybe a third. I don't know.
Yeah,
it
like
might be a solid third of beats at this point.
Which I'm fine with, and I have no issues. Of course, I keep sending them to you.
And they're fucking great, man. Like I don't know. I wish I didn't. I wish I was like a fucking trust fund kid and I could just like be at home and just record and not have to worry about anything else. But like, fucking life, man.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like,
you
and
do
again,
other shit.
I just keep getting off on tangents, but it's how that works.
Yeah,
it's like, I watch the video game podcasters or, things like that. And these people, they're like, that is their job. And they're like, just playing all these games. I'm like, if I did nothing and my job was just to enjoy video games, that is so cool. But also, would it ruin it to where it's like,
yeah, would I still enjoy doing it?
Yeah, I think I would, just to be clear. But
anybody out there that's got an opening, mobile play games.
I mean, it's kind of when Loco's on here. I can stream games. It's the thing I can't stream is making the beats, which is what I think would be more unique for me compared to other people. But and I can do it, but it's like I mentioned, my audio's all fucked. But there's a part of me that's like, who wants to watch me stream fucking game? But maybe I should, since I'm going to be playing them anyway, and I have the setup and blah blah blah. But maybe someday I'll get around to it. Someday these streamers fucking suck. And I'm sure I would too. So
I'm not into it, but there's a wide audience that is. So like you said, just because you wouldn't watch it or you don't get why people watch it, don't mean they won't do it, because they're out there doing it all the time.
Yeah. OnlyFans too, someday. Someday this body will be wanted. All right, the first song we're going with Sir Nasty, like I mentioned fucking 8 minutes ago. And the song we're going with is called Give It To Me Now, off his new album, Dealing With My Problems. And let's give it a listen.
Let's go.
Jason Gang. Look, I would kill you for mine. I don't know what you thinking. I be easing my mind. I be smoking and drinking. I be praying for peace. I keep the peace in my pocket. Bitches really be at me. I can't tell them to stop it. I like dark-skinned bitches. Yeah, I love that chocolate. I got a light-skinned bitch. Let me plug in her socket. I got a white friend thick. I love that bitch cause she got it. Let me talk my shit while she bobbing and bobbing. I love head in the car. I don't know what it does. Without paying, nigga, I could get some head in the club. I'm just saying, nigga, bitches really fuck with me cuz I'm still that nigga. Niggas trying to adjust. Guns in the trunk, in God we trust. By any means necessary, they ain't fucking with us. Marty Marr on the bitch, tell her watch my dust. I Marty Marr on the bitch, I said watch my dust. Fuck a first date, bitch, give it to me now. Fuck your boyfriend, bitch, give it to me now. You didn't wanna fuck me back then, but now you wanna give it to me now. Fuck a first date, bitch, give it to me now. Fuck your boyfriend, bitch, give it to me now. You didn't wanna fuck me back then, but now you wanna give it to me now. I love smacking ass senoritas. Leave stripes on your ass like a D-tuss. You know Chico, fuck with the chicas. See, mommy, margaritas and mamacitas. She said, pull your phone out, let's make some content. I'm kissing one bitch while I got one bent. Sir Nasty, he back with that nonsense. Niggas talking about spinning out of sponge shit. Don't make me show you niggas we done shit. Young nigga, we don't play about that gun shit. And watch your tongue before I wet you like a sponge, bitch. You better get your son before the gun spit. We pull up in them hoodies. Somebody tell Sierra that I still want them goodies. What the fuck, boy? My brother Ron call me Johnny. Son of a king, bitch, I'm feeling like Bronny. Fuck a first date, bitch, give it to me now. Fuck your boyfriend, bitch, give it to me now. You didn't wanna fuck me back then, but now you wanna give it to me now. Fuck a first date, bitch, give it to me now. Fuck your boyfriend, bitch, give it to me now. You didn't wanna fuck me back then, but now you wanna give it to me now. I remember when we used to sit out in the government yard and making gardens.
Sir Nasty.
Hey, the sir on A2thaMo Makes Beats, dealing with my problems, out now on Bandcamp, coming back soon on streaming. But y'all go buy it. Still getting better and better. Sir Nasty. Been a fan of his since day one. I really like that guy.
Give it to me now. Yeah, I think he's been killing it. It's very good. Every time I listen to the new album, I am like, oh man, it really killed it. And again, I've mentioned this many times, but I don't know if it's my bias because my beats or if he's really getting better. But either way, it's the same in my
Two things can be true.
Ears.
Two things can be true.
That's right. All right, let's see. We could go ahead and do TV, or we could save it for the next segment. But I say let's go ahead and do it. Let's go ahead and talk some.
Let's
TV
dive
shit.
in, man.
All right. I'll go ahead and go first. I'm assuming I have more, and so that'll make it easier. First one I'm going with is a show called For All Humankind.
Okay.
I don't know if I talked about it even a little bit last time you called it or not.
I don't remember it. If you did,
it is an Apple TV show, and it has a cool premise. But I could also see people being like, I don't give a shit. This is weird as fuck. But anyway, it's in a world where it's set like the 1960s space race, NASA versus the Soviets. And except in this world, the Soviets land on the moon first.
Okay.
So
I do remember you talking about it, if not you telling me the plot.
Yeah. And I feel like I'd watched the first couple episodes maybe last time, but I can't quite remember. I'll be honest, the first like 4 episodes, maybe 3, whatever it was pretty fucking boring. But I was like, well, let's give this one a shot. And I kind of chose, so I was like, we're going to keep going with it. And it does eventually turn to where it is like good. And you're like, oh shit, this is kind of tense. It's like has tense moments, I guess I would say. And, but anyway, yeah, the basic premise is the Russians land first. So instead of America being like, all right, we won, we're like, oh, fuck, we got to do better. So then like America goes into overdrive, to like, all of a sudden they're going to get like black people on board and women because, they got it. Because people don't remember like the Soviets were like all about, they didn't care about that shit. That was like a part of communism. And so anyway, you're kind of just following all these people as they're going to go to the moon and shit. And then they like actually make a base on the moon and then people like live on the moon. Now, I only watched the first season so far. I think there are 4 seasons of it. The reason I stopped is there's like a giant time gap between at least season 1 and 2, maybe the other ones as well. But I think it jumps like 15 years. And so
shit, that's a lot.
I know I was like, well, that's a good stopping spot. Maybe we'll get back to another season. We'll see. But it was a hard one for me to get. I just didn't want to watch it because it was so boring at first. But it's cool. That's my take on it. All right, what you got? All
right, so I'm gonna start out with one on shit. What was this on? Okay, this was Hulu. No, Peacock. It was a mini-series called All Her Fault. Premise is a kid gets kidnapped, and it just follows through until you get to the end to figure out what the shit was really all about. Decent miniseries. I enjoyed it.
Are you following like a detective?
Yeah,
it's like one of those type of shows.
Yeah, detective style kind of thing.
I can't remember what me and my wife call them a certain, because there used to be a lot. They started in England, where like
it's like a true detective type shit.
Yeah,
almost.
But the whole like style kind of started like all these BBC shows in England where it'd be like small town, kid gets kidnapped, 2 detectives from the city come in to solve the small town, and they all had the same premise. And my wife loved all of them. It just didn't matter.
And this follows that same kind of premise where they're peeling like the layers of the onion, and nothing is what it seems by the end.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that's what was really happening and all that shit. But good show, good series. I think it was like 8 episodes maybe, so not too many. But me and the wife enjoyed it. It definitely had us captivated from the start. And the thing that really gets you is that the way the kid gets kidnapped is the mom gets a text from who she thinks is another mom at the school saying, hey, I'm going to pick your kid up to play with my kid. And she's just like, okay, cool. And then somebody else takes the kid, and the mom is like, yeah, that wasn't me that texted you. And so it starts out with everybody feeling like the mom is an idiot. Right. Which she kind of is. And then it just goes from there. And it's a good show, though. I recommend it for those who like that kind of mystery, why did it happen, what happened style of show. And it doesn't make you wait too long to get certain answers. So that always helps me.
Right. Hell yeah. Shout out that show. All right, next one on the list here isn't really one I really watched, but my wife did, so I'm going to include it because, I was around for about half of it. And it's the Yellowstone prequels. So there's this television
1942.
show. That I think is one of them. There's two different prequels. So Yellowstone, people that don't know, is like the shit based in modern, current time. And then they made a prequel called, I think it's 1843. Maybe is the earlier set one, and it is just the Oregon Trail show. It's like a mini series. It's like 10 episodes, and it's them doing the Oregon Trail. And if anyone grew up playing the game of the Oregon Trail, I think it automatically makes you like it because you're like, I get it. Yeah, I understand what's happening. And it's got Tim McGraw and Faith Hill play as a married couple, and then they have a daughter who's like the main character, and you're kind of following that. And of course, it ends with them ending in Yellowstone because they're the people that fucking find Yellowstone, right? Like they're the origin of the Yellowstone. I want to say tribe, but it's not a tribe, it's a ranch. And so there's that show, and that one was really good. And then my wife went straight from that to the next one, Yellowstone prequel, which I think is 1942 or 22 or whatever the fuck it is. And it has Harrison Ford and oh my God, the woman, Helen Mirren, I think is the woman that plays. And when we watched the first episode, I was like, this sucks compared to the other one. So I kind of gave up and I didn't care. But my wife watched the rest and she's like, no, it gets good. And so it's just good in a different way. And you're like, okay. But it doesn't really seem as Western-y, But it is like Westerns can cover quite the range when you really think of the time frame, So anyway, they're pretty good, those Yellowstone prequels. My wife then turned around and watched all of the Yellowstone show, which years ago we watched season 1 and then kind of fell off during season 2. But she's like, well, I've watched all the prequels. I'm going to just stick it out. And so she has now caught up with every Yellowstone thing that's ever existed. Gotcha. And then another quick one I'll throw in here. I'm only starting when I got Peacock, I was like, well, I got to use this shit. And what they have the Office super fan episodes, which is they've went back and they've added all the deleted scenes. So it's like made the episodes longer and stuff. And it is very fun. It's like I used to consider myself an Office super fan, but I honestly haven't watched like my DVDs in like a year, maybe not quite that long, 6 months or so. So they're not as fresh as normal. But watching the deleted scene, like the whole time, I'm like, oh, I think this was added in. I think that, like you're always like
trying to figure it out.
Yeah, because like however many minutes of every episode is extra. And then there's also moments you're like, oh, I can totally see why they didn't include that. That was just maybe too far, make you think Jim's kind of too douchey or whatever. So like they're very interesting. They have super fan episodes for the first 8 seasons, I believe. They don't have the 9th one out yet. Hopefully they do someday. But eventually I'll slowly get through these. I was watching when I was going to bed, and then I don't know, it's been a couple weeks since I've gotten to it. But I do appreciate, a new way to watch my favorite show. It's always a good time.
Yeah, when they can remix and repackage something that you love, that's always dope.
Yep. All right, what you got next?
All right, so since we're talking about prequels with the Yellowstone, I went to a prequel of a show that I've never watched the series of, but I may get into it once I finish the prequel. Have you ever watched any of the alphabet shows, CSI, NCIS, all those?
No, and I'll be honest, I'm pretty judgy. The only thing we watch, and we have been watching on here, speaking of Peacock shows, we are trying to watch, my wife's watching SVU, all the old Law and Order SVU.
That is the best of the Law and Orders, in my opinion, as well.
And I've always liked that one, for sure. But I think we just got to season 2. So she's slowly going through the old one.
Gotcha.
We just got Ice-T on.
She's got a long way to go.
Yeah, Ice-T just
like
made his
shit, probably.
He makes his premiere at the end of season 2, episode 1. He's like, "Hey, I'm here to fight crime," or I can't do an Ice-T impression, but he has that kind of lisp.
Yeah, he got that. He does. He sounds like a pimp no matter what role he has. He can't help it. But now, NCIS did a prequel where they're telling the story of like how the main character is an older guy on NCIS, but it's telling the story of how he was younger and pretty much how he became who he is. And I heard about it, and I was like, you know what? I've never watched any of the NCISs or any of that shit. But if I can watch the prequel and I like it, once it ends, I can see myself starting NCIS and kind of having that background already and being like, okay, it might make it more interesting to me. So I started that, and so far I'm up to like episode 6. I think they only got 2 seasons of it right now. And it's pretty cool. It's the story of NCIS is like the naval investigation something. So they're like they only investigate crimes that deal with like the Navy,
military, or whatever.
Yeah, it's like military CSI. So, but it's interesting enough. It's been my nighttime. I watch a couple episodes at the end of the day, end of the night.
And his ex-wife loved all those shows, so I was aware of them. But I'll be honest, they are like I hate those shows in general. I like Law and Order.
I didn't think you liked them. I honestly didn't.
I like Law and Order for some reason because my mom watched them so much, and there's like a certain formula to it. But then after you learn about like the creator of Law and Order, like purposely writes the episodes to have his his politics injected into it, and you're like, oh, that makes so much sense. And then like I don't know that. These old episodes are fun because they call people gay all the time. You know what I mean? Like, is it just like a time where it was you're like, oh my god,
it was okay.
Yeah, season one's
his name sounds like one of those fake, like when the authors have the pen names, Dick Wolf. Like it doesn't sound like a real person,
right? It's so, like
I've always enjoyed that.
If you were 12 and you're like, my author name will be Dick Wolf.
Dick Wolf.
Yeah.
And then there's a picture of a howling dick.
Yeah. And like it's like transforming into a werewolf. All right, next on my list was a mini series on Netflix that I think there's only 4 or 5 episodes, can't remember what, but it's called Death by Lightning. I think it's very good. I would recommend it. My wife loves any sort of period piece, and that does not mean about menstruation. That just means it's set in a historical time period.
Just so you guys know out there, be mature.
Yeah, and so this one is said from President Garfield. And he's played by Michael Shannon, I believe the guy's name, the guy that played Zod in the Superman Man of Steel shit. And he's also he's a million things, but that's I think probably his most popular role. And
I'd say so.
So anyway, he plays Garfield, and I'm just gonna spoil the whole fucking show here because I just think it's interesting as a like historical thing because no one ever talks about this. So Abraham Lincoln had just been shot, 20 years earlier, maybe less. I don't remember exactly the time frame. And anyway, this guy goes to the Democratic convention or Republican convention, actually, because he's a Republican. And the conventions back then were like these giant meetings. And then you would get up there and like actually talk and, like nominate someone for president. They would all vote. And if it didn't work, they do another round and they just and it's kind of how it works these days, but it's a lot, modernized today, of course. So anyway, main character in this shit, the guy who becomes President Garfield, he gets up to speech to be like, hey, this other guy from Ohio is the guy y'all should do. But he gives some speech of like, he's a real American or whatever. And then so like one guy in the crowd. Well, I said I knew that would happen. So like one guy voting just keeps voting for him. So it'll be like 300 votes for this guy, 200 votes for this guy, 1 vote for Garfield. And then but they had to keep doing it because no one won it. And then in like round 33, people are like, fuck it, let's vote for Garfield. And then like all of a sudden he's the presidential nominee, which is crazy. And
that is nuts.
Like that's just a historical story we should be fucking learning in school. That's like crazy. And so anyway, that happens. But he's like a good guy, but he's like not a real politician. He's like, he doesn't wine and dine people. Yeah, exactly. And then the guy who plays Ron Swanson in Parks and Rec, Nick Offerman, he's in it and he plays the vice president who is he is a dirty behind the scenes type guy who has like a businessman in New York and shit. And so like they pair them together to be like, this will work. But they also have a plan of like trying to fuck over Garfield and all this shit. So
try to make him a puppet, probably.
So yeah, you're following the Garfield storyline, which is interesting enough. But then there's also the assassin, the guy who eventually kills Garfield. You also are following him, and he's like he just wants to be part of the presidential process. He like wants to volunteer and he wants to help with the campaign, and he gets obsessed. It's like it's like a Selena scenario where it's like the fan of this person is who ends up killing him or whatever. And so like, you're also just like, how does it get there? Like this is the killer, but yet he loves him. And so, you kind of are following that whole journey. But my wife really enjoyed the show and I thought it was good. And when it's only 4 or 5 episodes, that's not much of a commitment. So I like a good mini series myself.
Yeah, I'm getting more into them. I used to kind of steer away from them because I was into the stupid long seasons of shit and like never ending seasons.
Yeah, I'm off
and
that.
So I always felt like that was like a ripoff. But now that I'm actually getting into it and watching them, it is actually nice for something to just end and like they wrap it up in a nice little bow. Sometimes they wrap it up.
It's like the only way you can do a movie now, because movies aren't good enough to like sit for 3 hours, but I'll sit for 8 hours or 8 times for 1 hour.
Yeah, you know, to finish a good story.
Yeah.
And have it like really fleshed out.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Pretty cool. All right, what you got next? If you got stuff.
All right. So up next, we're gonna go with Netflix. It's a show called Insatiable. And it's a chick from Disney. I think her name's Debbie Ryan. She's got a big head, but she's cute enough. But it's about pageants.
Big something else.
She ends up being like a psycho, basically.
All right.
But it's about her trying to win like a beauty pageant and just following her life and hijinks. And some of the side characters are really good. I enjoyed it though. It only lasted 2 seasons. And I just wrapped it up on Netflix, but it's called Insatiable. And she's got like an eating disorder. That's where the Insatiable title comes from. But then it goes from insatiable food to she's kind of got an insatiable thing where she ends up killing a good amount of people by the end of the series. So
nice.
My style of shit. I enjoyed it though. And it's got a lot of gay shit in it. I don't know.
Well, it's Netflix, bro. That's how it works.
On or off, but
Netflix has a mandate.
Like, there's a lot in there.
Yeah. 6-7 is some good shit.
It's got a real interesting storyline about thruples that may intrigue some people.
Right. Anything to convince the wife, you know? Hey,
if I could get a second wife and make it happen, I'd do it.
It depends. I do think it couldn't just be anyone. It had to be a very special scenario where everyone gets along, and then they would hopefully make good money, you know, get you a workhorse.
Like my scenario, they would have to be best friends, like so they can do their thing, get along. Like you said, the more money scenario would definitely have to work out. And then they'd have to be okay with the physical time.
Well, most
with me
of the time on these A&E or TLC shows, it is a black thing. It's like way more a black thing, this polyamory world. So you're closer there. I think it's because the Nigerians, they do it, and it kind of carries over. So
yeah, it's more of a tradition over there. It's not faux pas.
Right. It's like, I could afford it because I'm a baller. It's like a cool thing. All right.
And see, those are the scenarios I always see too. It's like, there's always like the rich guy, and it's like, well, you just got 2 girls who are like your money. Like, I like seeing the I guess the Mormon shit.
Right. Yeah. A lot of people hated on that Sister Wives show.
Yeah, like Sister Wives type scenario.
They hate on the guy that's on it because he is kind of a douchebag. But on the first episode of that, because I remember watching the first season, he like kind of explains it in a way that I'm like, oh, I kind of get it. He's like, I have 3 wives. This one works a lot. She has a great job. This one stays home and does this. And then this one also has like I don't know. They all have like their role or whatever. And I'm like, I'm not saying I would do it, but it kind of made sense.
It makes sense. It sounds like it works. Yeah. So, but that just seems
turns
like
out all his kids were
scenario.
fucked up. So it turns out it might not have worked all that well, but it could have been on him more so than his,
it usually ends up not working out in the end.
All right, next
you see more that don't work out that do.
We always get distracted.
It's what we do, man.
Ink Master had another season on Paramount Plus. Now I've watched every season of Ink Master. I would honestly recommend starting at season 1. They kind of sucked back then in some ways, but the first 10 seasons had the certain host. Chris Nunez and Oliver Peck were always on there, and then Dave Navarro was the host, and so the other 2 were judges, I guess I would say. And they were great, and they really were the dynamic of the show. And then Oliver Peck got canceled. He was apparently married to Kat Von D at some time back in the day. That's how he was famous. I didn't know that until after he got canceled. But he got canceled because he blackfaced it at a Halloween party and dressed as Magic Johnson. Like he was like blackface head to toe wearing a Magic Johnson thing. And then they're like, no longer.
Like Jimmy Kimmel and Karl Malone.
Exactly. And then they're like, yeah, he can't be on Ink Master anymore. And you were like, but he was awesome. Like, he's like one of the best parts of the show. And so it kept going. They brought in new hosts. Honestly, they brought in a guy who had already won 3 times. And so he's like makes sense as a judge. And then they brought in this lady who had won before, who they like clearly liked. They kept giving her spinoff TV shows, and she's fine, but she only really has one style. So I'm always kind of a hater on her when she's hating on someone else. I'm like, yeah, okay, you're one fucker. Cause I've watched too much of the show, and
way too in.
So anyway, new season comes out. It's very I'm sure it's like fake in some way, like reality shows are, where some shit's scripted. But in general, they have to do tattoos on people's skin, and then people have to wear those tattoos. So that alone makes it kind of high risk. And so when you watch it, you're like, ooh, let's see how this guy does, or whatever, And then this season in particular, it was called Hometown Heroes, and they were like, they really emphasized where they're from. So there was this guy from Australia, and he was real fucking annoying and douchey. And there was a guy from Pittsburgh who looks like Brad if he was on steroids, which was funny because I'm like, everyone from Pittsburgh, not everyone, like a half of all guys I see from Pittsburgh have a certain look. Yeah. And I don't know what it is. I don't know like
Brad
what
aesthetic.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like they're German or they're like, whatever ethnicity it is, but they just all have a certain look to them. And this guy, like before they even seen his town, I go, but he's from Pittsburgh. And he was like, I'm from Pittsburgh. And I was like, I just knew it. And so he looks like a swole Brad kind of. And so I was cheering for him the whole season. I actually have one episode left at the time of us recording it, but it'll be out before this comes out. And we'll see if he wins it or not, or if it's a douchey Australian or someone else, There's Anyway, it's pretty good. I think E-Master's keeping that old competition reality show alive, which, there's not many of them left. So I will support them as long as I have Paramount Plus.
No doubt.
All right. What else you got?
All right. So I tried my best and I could not finish the last season of Righteous Gemstones. It got a thumbs down from me. I didn't like the whole going back to the beginning shit of it. Like, by the time they came back to the present or whatever the fuck, I didn't care anymore. And so I'm never going to finish it. I've given up on Righteous Gemstones. So I'm going to say season 3 is the last season in my
It just
canon.
would have been better if they ended there. I mean, I wholeheartedly agree with that. Like in the moment, the whole time, like, why are they doing this? I don't know.
Yeah. I couldn't get down with it, man. I tried.
And especially because
4 episodes in or something.
We actually talked about all the Danny McBride shows last week, but all of his other shows, they knew when to end. You know what I mean? It was like, I guess he kept stringing out Eastbound and Down, but there were such big gaps between the seasons. You were like, fuck it, I want another season.
Yeah, it worked. Yeah, it made it work.
And me and after last week's episode, I was just telling my wife, I was like, hey, this is what I just talked about, but I know you've also watched these. Do you agree with my takes? And we just kind of, his first show, Eastbound and Down, is all him doing that character. And then the second, Vice Principals, is like him with Walton Goggins, and it's so underrated that it's kind of better. And then Righteous Gemstones isn't really a Danny McBride show. It's like he's like the 5th or 6th comedic person. You know what I mean? Like everyone else is like way put more in the center of it than him.
For sure.
At least in the later seasons. But anyway, yeah, Righteous Gemstones. It was such a good idea. I was liking it for a long time. All right, I'm gonna go with Stranger Things next. We watched,
and I can cross that off my list because I'm on it too.
Nice. We watched the first 4 episodes of the last season. We're waiting, of course, like everyone else, for the last episodes. My wife's a big Stranger Things fan. She's liked her since season 1. Season 2 kind of fell off a little bit. Season 3 brought it back, and then season 4 was great. And so I think overall it's pretty good. Now, the big complaint about it that everyone has, and I agree, is it's taken like 12 years to do 5 seasons or whatever the fuck the time frame. You know what I mean? It's like crazy how long it's taken them to put these out. The kids are old as shit, but that's how it used to be in the 80s. So it kind of works, honestly, in some like meta way that 20-year-olds are playing teenagers. But I think these first 4 episodes are pretty good. To me, it's all a big setup. It's like, it's all just like setting it up for what's going to happen, but nothing, I don't know, it's nothing great. Also, I think a lot of people that you would expect to have more screen time, you're like, you barely even saw Dustin. And I thought he was like everyone, so there's some choices being made that I'm like, the screen time for some people versus like just the wasting time on like shots of the upside down world, where I'm like, all right, let's go. Fuck,
we're good. We're good on that. We know what it looks like.
So I'm a little judgy on some, but overall, it's really good. And also this whole introduction of the Molly character. I don't know if she's been in before, but like she's all of a sudden like the character you're following,
the focal point,
and you're like, yeah, but you spent so much time with all the other kids that like that's what people care about. I don't know. So we'll see how it wraps up, but I don't think it's bad by any means. It's just it's a little slow, I think.
And I do think Dustin has fallen into the category of like the kid who like doesn't grow up as much as all the other kids.
Well, no, to me it's a lot also like the Goldbergs kid. You know, it's like you just come back one season, you're like, it's just different. It just changed in this year. It happened also with Fresh Off the Boat. I love that show. And then one year, all of a sudden, the main kids like, and all the kids, they're just too old. They're just like aged out of whatever they were playing, and you're like, oh, it's just not the same anymore.
Yeah, this doesn't work for me.
Yeah, nothing against them. And so yeah,
but I agree though that.
But Dustin didn't get the hype.
Bad start.
I think that's what it is. I don't even think it's a bad thing necessarily, but when they first started, Dustin didn't seem short compared to the rest, and now he looks significant, like he's a short king or whatever, right? And the other kids look like they're going to be taller, and so something about that, like it changes the dynamic a little bit of what it used to be. So yeah, Stranger Things pretty decent. All right, I have two more. What do you got?
All right, up next, I'm going back to Paramount. Still watching the most current season of The Mayor of Kingstown. Starring the guy from Avengers who plays Hawkeye as not an actual
Jeremy
mayor,
Renner?
but
Is that his name?
he's the guy that runs. Yeah, Renner. That's it, Jeremy Renner. But yeah, he pretty much runs, the underworld and political and police side of things. Like he's got his hands in all the shit. He's like a fixer, if anybody's familiar with that term. But good show though. I imagine it's kind of like what The Wire was like, because I still haven't seen The Wire.
I bet
how
it's not like The Wire.
Tackles all parts of like crime. Like it's got police, political, it's got criminals, it's got prison, and then it just shows you all the different sides and how they interact.
Yeah, I mean, I would say The Wire did make that like showing both sides a thing, but there's something special about The Wire, No,
and I don't take away from The Wire. Even as a person who hasn't seen it, I know enough people that hold it in reverence that I would never compare it.
Right. Well, there's
completely.
And again, gonna get off track again. There's just something about that era of HBO when you go back and watch them. Like I didn't watch The Sopranos till a few years ago, and I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. And then I rewatched The Wire for the 8th time or something, and I'm like, it's still so good. Like it's crazy how good this is.
Still on my list.
Yeah,
one day.
All right, I know I mentioned this last time because I'd watched one episode and I told you like I don't know if I can stick with it, and now I have completely different feelings on it, so I feel like I got to bring it up. And it's a Showtime show called "I'm Dying Up Here," and it only has 2 seasons. It has joined my list, and I'm only halfway through season 1, but it's joined my list of like my favorite shows that got 2 seasons and canceled too soon. So it's up there with Hills, and I could probably find a few others for my list if I was making it.
Hills was great,
but I'm like obsessed a little bit with the show at the moment. My wife, I think, is as well, because when it's like, what do you want to watch? Like, yeah, let's watch that comedy show. And so it's set in the 1970s in like a sort of fictional comedy club in LA. It's based on a book, and but there's like the comedians are like other comedians, you know what I mean? So it's like, this is kind of mirroring like the Eddie Murphy track kind of, and this is guys kind of like Bill Hicks, and this guy's kind of like, but they're not them, But yeah, so you're following these 70s stand-up comedians scripted show. Some people are just very unlikable. Some of the comedy's not good, but it wasn't good back then. A lot of hacks were successful because it was new, like that was part of it was a simple joke or whatever. And so I don't know, the show's really good. I complained last time, the first episode after watching, it seems like there's this Jewish girl named Cassie, and it seems like she's the main character. And then the guy that plays the Winter Soldier, I can't ever remember his name, Sebastian Stan.
I know who you're talking about though.
He is in the first episode as like a comedian who's made it onto the Tonight Show, and then he dies right afterwards. And then she's his girlfriend. So it's like you think she's going to be the main character, but then very quickly, like she's not. She's like the 5th lead or something. You know what I mean? And that was my complaint of like, I don't really care about this character. But they bring in Clark Duke, which was one of my favorites. He's in the end seasons of The Office, the last season actually, and then he's the guy in Hot Tub Time Machine. I guess it's probably his most popular thing, and he's like a main character. And I don't know, you're just following these comedians and them trying to make it. They're all broke, and it's just a good comedy TV show, and it sucks that it got canceled due to I think COVID. Just some of those things like COVID happened. Like, we're canceling it because Showtime. They're not one to like stick with a lot of things unless it's Dexter. But yeah, it's very good, at least so far, and I will finish it, and then I'll be like, damn, it sucks they canceled it, but it happens. But pretty good one. All right, what else you got?
All right, glad you brought up Heels, because it reminded me that I did watch Glow, Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling on Netflix.
So good.
And it was really good. I was surprised at how much I ended up liking it. It takes place in the cocaine 80s, Los Angeles, and it's a women's wrestling outfit that they were trying to get off the ground. And I enjoyed it. 3 seasons, and I feel like they could have won a 4th. I don't know if this was one where they wanted to end it where they ended it.
No, it was. I think it was a COVID happened.
COVID thing too,
and it delayed it. And then whatever the main girl's name is, we always around my house we call her Annie Adderall because of Community, but I don't remember what her name is.
Is it Allison Brie?
Allison Brie, yes. Yeah, I think she was just filming something else. But yeah, I'm a big fan of hers. And anything she's done, she's so good.
She got this average look about her that I like.
Yeah. And,
nice tits too.
Exactly. And yeah, back when Community first came out, I think all these pictures leaked of her, like her in college, just naked at a party. And you were like, all right, I like Allison Brie. She's also in Mad Men, which is
didn't know that.
My number 2 show, of course. All right, I have one more on my list. Do you have any more yourself?
No, I think your last one is going to end it.
All right, so I have a Christmas shirt on that has Jon Snow in case people can't see here. So it's
yes, the infamous Jon Snow.
It's my only Christmas shirt I own, and I only said this because my last one list is House of Dragon season 2.
Nice.
And I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan. Really, I should say a Song of Ice and Fire fan. Because that's really what you should say as a book fan. But I'm not like that pretentious about it. I'm like, listen, I understand everyone calls it Game of Thrones. It makes sense to me. But it is technically a Song of Ice and Fire as the book series. And I love the books and the House of Dragon. I watched season 1 a year ago or whenever that was. And we really liked it. And I was going to start season 2, but everyone was complaining about season 2. They're like, it just ends abruptly and they're really setting something up and it kind of ends on a cliffhanger. So that's why I was like, well, then I'm in really no rush. But I was like, you know what? Let's watch it. And I just think it's really well made. I understand Game of Thrones isn't for everybody. And honestly, they ruined the TV show. The creators, not even the creators, the showrunners, they had a deal to make another show and they kind of rushed the end of Game of Thrones. Plus, so, the actors were trying, they were over it. But they did rush it and they kind of ruined it. I think they made some decisions that the book won't if it ever comes out, never finishes it or whatever. And as a huge fan, I am like pissed that they kind of ruin one of these great, but the show's still great, especially the first like 5 seasons, very good, and maybe 4 seasons, very good, 1 season decent, and then it kind of falls off, but still probably worth it. But anyway, this prequel House of Dragon, it keeps all the same vibes. I think there's a lot of things that mirror it where you're like, this person's kind of like this person and this does it. And they got way more dragons in this one, which is what a lot of people liked. And for me as a big fan, I actually kind of like when the people are just having dialogue and they're talking about stuff and then they're like telling you something that's going to happen. But then like people that aren't good with dialogue are going to be surprised the next episode and they'll be like, what, that guy killed that one? You're like, yeah, the last episode the guy says he's going to send an assassin after him. What the fuck, you missed that whole fucking conversation. Like I kind of like that part about it. But yeah, it's very good, kind of tickles that, but again, it makes me just angry that they ruined Game of Thrones. And a big reason why I had to get to it was because this next year they're coming out with A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, which is based on so George R. R. Martin, the author, he puts out these short stories of Dunk and Egg, which is set like 150 years before Game of Thrones. And that's actually my favorite thing that he does. Like, I love this. It's like a big, tall, goofy bastard guy who's he's just a knight, because he's fucking super strong, not because he's like a genius or whatever. And then this little kid who's bald because he shaves his head because he doesn't want everyone to know he's a Targaryen. And then he's like the 4th son of a 4th son. So he's like not really going to get to the throne. And then he just pals around as a squire with this big knot and you like follow them through their adventures, right? Like that's nice. More or less the gist of it. It's not quite as severe and political, but it's fun. But then eventually that Egg, because it's called Dunk and Egg, he will eventually become the king because some shit happens in the future where like all the fucking heirs get killed and they have to have a council and then they choose him to be a king. So eventually he will be, but you're seeing him as a little kid, with this too. So they should have a hit show here, right? But they might fuck it up. But I wanted to get caught up on this House of Dragon before this new shit came out. So that was my real reason.
So when does the Dunk and Egg show come out then?
I want to say it's March or April, but I don't know if they put an exact date. I can't remember at the moment. I know it's in 2026 is their big. They've released a couple images so far. I don't know if it's been like a whole trailer.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So anyway, that's our TV show talk. It only went. I thought maybe about an hour in we'd be done. We're at an hour and 8 minutes if I don't cut anything. So,
I feel
not that
like
far
we did
off.
it, and it feels like a full episode still. Like it doesn't feel like we prolonged it or cut it short. Like I feel like we did good as far as getting the TV shit in at the right spot too.
There you go. So, all right, let's play a song. Now, this next one here, you don't know which I was going to choose. I listened to all the songs you sent me. So
I didn't.
I knew last year, the year before, whenever it was, I'd made some Christmas beats, like a handful of them, and we put them in a folder and was like, we'll work on that someday. And then we just didn't. And then you made a couple, 3 at least that you sent me.
Yep.
And then I was like, well, since it's coming out for Christmas, and we haven't even talked about our Christmas hats, but it is a Christmas episode, technically. I just got right to it. And so I listened to them. I really was torn between Holly Jolly and Hover. Now, Holly Jolly is a little bit more of a Christmas song, but I think Hover's a better song. But then you have a part where you start talking about seeing Mom kissing Santa Claus, and it's so weird that I want to play that, but also I understand it's weird as shit. And so
it got weird when I made it too. So I'm glad you picked up on the weirdness of it. I love it.
So which one do you prefer out of the two? I do think Holly Jolly's more Christmassy, right? You would think.
It is more Christmassy, but I do like Hover better as a song. And I like it because of the abstract weirdness of it, honestly. Like, I like how weird it is.
All right, so you want to go with Hover?
I'm going with Hover, man.
All right, let me pull it up here. All right, this is Southern Com4rt with Hover. Let's give it a listen.
I hover, I glide, I ride, I slide, I'm fly. Please don't ask why. I hover, I glide, I ride, I slide, I'm fly. Please don't ask why. I hover, I glide, I ride, I slide, I'm fly. Please don't ask why. It feels good to be the Southern Com4rt. It feels good to be doing what I do cause I want to. I'm feeling floaty, in fact, I'm feeling wholly intact. And my soul is so shiny as gold. And my goal is to be bold in my faith, grow older with grace, no control of my race. I was born this way, I can't terraform the earth, it was formed this way. All I can do is do me, and hope you don't force me to take action that would cause recourse. I feel remorse, of course, but when I'm done I divorce. Most feelings are chores. I prefer joy and love, anger and fear to the back of the bus. Don't run with us. I hover, I glide, I ride, I slide, I'm fly. Please don't ask why. I hover, I glide, I ride, I slide, I'm fly. Please don't ask why. I hover, I glide, I ride, I slide, I'm fly. Please don't ask why. I saw mommy kissing Santa Claus. It was quite the sight on a starry night. That's why I hover above you before I take flight. I saw mommy kissing Santa Claus. It was quite the sight on a starry night. That's why I hover above you before I take flight. And I saw mommy kissing Santa Claus. It was quite the sight on a starry night. That's why I hover, I glide, I ride, I slide, I'm fly. Please don't ask why. I hover, I glide, I ride, I slide, I'm fly. Please don't ask why. I hover, I glide, I ride, I slide, I'm fly. Please don't ask why.
And the Mo makes beats.
Merry Christmas, everybody. It's been a very SoCo Christmas. SoCo Sessions volume.
Hover.
That's
Southern
fun shit,
Com4rt.
man. I have fun making those.
Well, that's what's important. All right.
Yeah, it's all about joy. Joy to the world.
Yeah, Feliz Navidad or something. I don't speak Spanish.
There you go.
I never know what that means, but it's something.
I always assumed it meant Merry Christmas, but I could be wrong too
You
because
totally
I
could be
too
right.
do not speak Espanol.
And I'm
So,
sure if
hey.
I listened to the song, it would explain it, but I don't listen to Christmas music. It's not my thing in general. All right, I have religious stuff I want to talk about, and you're
Let's do it.
perfect one. Not too much, of course, but there are two things that I can remember. One is there's a big protest at OU happening. So I'm in Oklahoma, and this is a big news story I haven't talked about in here, and I keep forgetting about it, to be honest. My wife is like way more into it than me, and she'll mention, I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, the fuck are they at OU? And I'm like, oh, sorry, I forgot.
My bad.
But basically there was a girl who I don't know what class it was. It'd be like philosophy class or whatever the fuck, English or something. There was some college course at OU, and they asked some question about gender roles, and then like some girl in the class was like, I believe in the Bible, and this says like didn't answer the question at all, right? Made it all about like the Bible and shit. And so then the TA, which is the teacher's assistant that was grading it and gave that lesson plan, was like, oh, you get a 0 because you didn't answer the fucking question, you know? Which, I've worked, when I was in college, I worked grading papers in the math department. So that's, I don't know. I've had a lot of tough teachers that I graded for. They were like, no, this is how it goes. And you're like, okay. So to me, like, it is just expected in college that like grading can be tough. And so anyway, this girl, it was part of like the Turning Point USA chapter, and was like, they're harassing me because I'm a Christian. And then made this huge uproar about it. And then I think the university decided, well, like that grade won't count for or against her, which is still her winning, because it's just like,
that's a win,
you know. And then now people are protesting the other side of like, you know, this is bullshit. Now I don't know if they did like what a protest does for like a one single person, but I guess if it's like you wanted the school to back the teacher or something, I don't know.
like they're protesting the idea, I guess. Of
But the only
choosing
reason I really wanted
over
to
the curriculum, maybe
bring it up, because apparently the girl was fishing for this, and so she was part of, like I said, this organization that they were kind of looking for something like this. You know, like they're looking to be persecuted, and it reminds me a whole bunch of that gay wedding cake thing. If you remember that huge news story, right? Where it was like a gay couple would go shop to shop, find the homophobic one, and be like, I want him to make my cake. And if he doesn't, he's homo. And you're like, just go to someone else. I'm sure there's plenty of cake makers. You're like, that's not what this is about. And so it's kind of like that, except the other side. It's like the Christians be like, oh, I'm going to go find someone who's going to discriminate against me. And then I'm going to show you. You know, it's like, well, go to a fucking Christian college. There's a fucking 100 of them, you know, and they'll fucking let you write about Jesus all you want. But you don't want that. You want to go be a problem for some fucking 23-year-old or however old she is, teacher's assistant, just trying to make her way through life. So, but it's a big deal. I see people posting about it all the time on my timeline, and I'm like completely checked out. But I'm like, oh, I guess I'd bring that up. That's a big news story.
I definitely haven't heard about it. The only thing, because as I listen to you tell it, the only thing that I disagree with on the academic side is, if the question was, all right, how do you feel? What was the question? How do you feel about gender roles?
Yeah, I don't remember the exact questions. It was something about gender roles. Yeah.
So like, if her answer was, I think gender roles should be the way they are in the Bible, I don't think that's a 0. That was the only thing I had a problem with. Well, like, to me, that's an answer. It may not be like a complete answer, and you might have to go to the Bible to figure out exactly what she means by it. But
well, no.
To me, that's
if
still
you
like,
have to write a paper and you write one sentence, and it's
now see that in my mind it was like a free form discussion, and she was saying that out loud. But if it's a paper and that's all she wrote, then all right, now I can get how she might get
I think it was a paper. I believe, again, I don't have near enough details. But I believe it was a paper, and it wasn't like she just wrote. I think she just like steered the conversation to a whole different topic and not what it was supposed to be, you know. And then and I guess to me it's like, okay, if this religion wasn't involved and you did that, I would understand a professor being like, yeah, you didn't answer the fucking question. You get a 0. Like, because in college, it's not high school. You know what I mean? Like, they don't just fucking, I don't know. I think just our standard, I don't think high school should be like that either, but, you know, the standards for things have just changed over the years. Where people, and just the idea that a student complained that they didn't get an A, it's like, they just think they deserve it. You know, I don't know. There's just a lot of things that like are weird about it to me, but the religious aspect is what people are pointing out. And then the other sort of religious thing, I saw this a couple weeks ago, and I was like, I don't really have anyone to talk to this about. I'm still like, you know, I'm not a church goer. I don't necessarily believe in the literal things that are in text, but I do find it all very interesting, and I do like the theological thoughts of it all. And like, did it come from something, you know, has it evolved from whatever to this and shit? And I think it's interesting. So a lot of times on my TikTok feeds, I get hit with like, you know, preachers or former preachers giving their like fucking thoughts on shit. And one of them I've come across recently is a guy being like, the modern church system of Christianity is not the church of Jesus. It is the church of Paul. And this like hit me in a certain way. And I was like, oh shit. Cause you know, I grew up going to a lot of church, so I understand what he was kind of getting at. And then he like went in a deeper thought of like, you know, Jesus and Paul had conversations and arguments in their life over, you know, like Jesus said, you had to still follow the Torah and obey the Jewish laws. And then also know that like Jesus is the way and whatever, you know. And then Paul was like, no, you can like be forgiven because you're so sorry. And Jesus like never, like there's certain things that Paul said that Jesus never said that became part of the doctrine of the church that now people are like, yeah, that's the way. And you're like, and Paul is a huge figure. When you grow up going to like a Southern Baptist church, I mean, Paul is like the number 2 guy. I mean, they're talking about him all the fucking time. And so it's just like, I've never thought of it from an academic standpoint about this, where it's like, what if all these people that are like big believers are like, you're not even following the actual teachings because you followed the number 2 guy who outlived him that went, well, actually, I like these sort of rules. Like, I think there's something funny about it in like a sort of like, you know, be sad, I guess, for all the false believers that don't intend to be. And then someone like my grandma, who's really, she would be like, well, they wouldn't be because God would know the intent of your heart. And, you know, be like all this extra stuff you would kind of put in there to like make sure you're always right. But I don't know. I just didn't know what your take is. I know you go to a lot of church. Do you think that matters, or do you think it's just like interesting and who cares?
It matters, but depending on how deep you are into the church aspect of religion and like a relationship with God. Like if you're deep in like the church part of it, like I think Paul was given like that was he was given that task of, hey, you handle the church. Like he was given that mantle or whatever by Jesus. So I could see where they would justify, well, that's like a transference. So whatever, if he said you're in charge, then he's giving him the blessing of whatever, you know, even if it's wrong.
Again, if I'm writing this as a TV show, guess what? Jesus actually didn't tell Paul. Jesus died, then Paul goes, yeah. Jesus actually said I was in charge. Like that's how
he said, I'm the guy that gets the and I can see that being an angle on the TV show. At an end of the day level, I don't think it matters.
Yeah, I don't think it changes people's stuff. And that's why I'm like, really, I like all the theological talks. Or like someone's like, you know, this biblical story is actually from this other religion that predates that. And this is what that, like, I think that's all really interesting. And so when I would bring that up to people, like in my family, I'm like a teenager, they'd be like, that's blasphemy. You know what I mean? Like you can't, if you're saying this shit isn't the absolute truth, then you're Satan. You know, Satan is trying to influence you. And that's why you want a tattoo, because you like demons. And you're like, all right, cool. Thanks, guys.
Meanwhile, they probably have a tattoo somewhere.
No, my parents, dude. The day I went to get my one tattoo where they misspelled my name, and so I never got another one, and because I was like, well, I think this is a sign from God. But my dad, who has never been to church a day in his life, was like, no, that's demons. Tattoos are demons. And like, he like freaked the fuck out. And I was like, what the fuck? And then so much and I think I was like, he freaked out so much and I made fun of him so much that my mom was like, I'll go with you. I was like, okay. So my mom went with me. I was like, got it. But yeah, it was crazy. It's just the way it was. And then I got arrested and then it was like, I was a demon, you know, like something must have possessed me to get arrested for marijuana in college. And then
it's not the fact that everybody's doing it and I like it.
Not the fact that I'm just cool and I had the most and I was a baller. Not, you know, you didn't look at the fact that it was a success story, honestly, in some way.
This is my come up. What are you talking about?
Yeah. But then it happened again a year later, and then I was like, ugh.
You got me.
This is getting expensive. So those are hard things. I've been debating dropping an instrumental project. I've mentioned it a few times on here.
It's been a while, I feel like, since you've
I just feel like no one listens. And previously, the last however many I dropped were like y'all's beats that you've used on stuff, you know. I'm like, oh, we'll put those out and give people percentages and all that shit. But I have a handful. I have like 16, I think, at the moment, something like that, like instrumental beats that I don't think anyone would rap on or not well. And like some of them, you know, have samples and shit. They're like more dancey EDM type stuff. Not exactly, but like my version of it. And I do want to put them out, but then, you know, you got to promote them and who knows if people, you know, it's one of those things, but they do exist and they're not going to do anything else. So I just got to figure out a date of when I would want to, I guess. I don't know how important all that is, but it is something I'm thinking about. I've been playing them at the end of these episodes to see like certain ones to see if like the one I played with the flute on the last time Skinny was on, that got picked up by the copyrights
the guy
immediately.
In the water.
Yeah. That was like
in the lake.
Yeah. So CD Baby, he works with them and they immediately were like, no, that is our music. And you're like, God damn it. And so if I use that beat, which I would want to, I'm gonna have to change it up some. I may just give it to Nasty because I know he doesn't care. He'll give a shit.
Yeah, he didn't give a fuck.
That might happen. But yeah, so that's kind of what I'm doing. So we'll see if that happens, you know, the instrumental music, but it is, I'm thinking about it pretty good. You got anything that you've been needing to talk about?
Nah, man, just regular shit, you know. Like I said, life keeps trying to prevent me from making music. Even today, like I'll tell a quick story about today. Like my night last night ended with my wife going to the store and coming home with a shredded tire. So my morning started with having to fucking punch a
what she
hole
shredded
in my fucking
on?
man card. She says it just busted out of nowhere and then she just drove it all the way home. I think she hit something.
Yeah.
And don't want to tell me.
Because that doesn't happen. That's not how physics work.
Yeah, it's not how it works. Like your tire didn't just explode.
I mean, if the thread's very low, possibly. If it's like real.
Yeah, but even then, I don't know. I didn't trust the story. It was just way too shredded up. Yeah. But so that made my morning start with, you know, I do church on Sunday, so I had to wake up extra early to try to change the tire. And this is how shit always works with me with like man shit. Anytime I'm trying to do man shit and it involves like any kind of bolts or screws, it always comes down to the very last one and that sumbitch is stuck or too tight and I can't fucking get it. And then it just frustrates the shit out of me. So nothing different with this. It got down to the last bolt on the tire and it took me forever to get that shit loose. But I put another tire on it. It didn't quite fit. So I knew I had to go buy a tire today because you just can't ride on shit that ain't meant to be rode on, whatever. And I knew I had to do the podcast with you today, which I've been wanting to do because, you know, MIA and shit. And everybody thought I was dead. I wanted to make sure everybody knew I was alive. Best way to do that, be on the podcast with Mo, A2thaShow.
Sure.
But yeah, so I got home. You let me know we were doing it later. That worked out because I was like, cool, I can go get a tire. Only place that's a decent price that does tires on the weekend is Walmart. And I don't know if you've ever been to like
I just
their
got 4
auto
new
center
tires,
for
so
anything.
I'm very familiar with this actually.
It's miserable over here. Like there's always like one person working who can do the shit you need, and they're always working on like multiple cars. Like they're changing oil and doing tires and shit at the same time. If you go when they say they open, the person that can do what you need them to do probably ain't there. They open at 7. I get there at 7:30. Like the guy who's there literally tells me, yeah, the guy's supposed to be here at 7, but I have no idea where he is. And that was the extent of that. So I'm like, fuck it. I'm not going to get a new tire. But then once we pushed the podcast back, I was like, let me just try to go do this so that I'm not worrying about it on the work day. And it was just same old shit, man. Just you show up, they're way crowded. Shit is just taking forever. I ended up going to 2 Walmarts. Thankfully, the second one went ahead and got me in, and I was able to get that shit done and get back here. But I don't know, shit like blown tires and fucking car issues is just, it's never what you want. But when it happens, it always feels like it's the worst time.
Yeah.
And so it was one of those situations today.
Yeah, I think I actually got 4 new tires. I don't know, 3 weeks ago or something like that, and it was because I was like, well, they have a deal at Walmart at the moment, and I needed 2 new front tires because they were going bald as fuck. And I was like, oh shit, I feel like a lady at the moment. Like my tires are bald as shit. I didn't realize. And then I could have just got 2, but there was part I was like, well, I'll just go ahead and get 4. Get them all fresh at the same time.
Yeah, might as well.
And yeah, it was still like $400.
Yeah, that's how it goes. Last time I got 4 tires, it was 4. And I feel like if I can get 100 or under, I'm doing okay.
Yeah,
but that's my tire range.
Yeah, like, they were Goodyear.
I'm not paying more than that.
Is what I got, which was pretty good. But yeah, they normally were more, but some fucking deal they had got them down to less than 100. And then they add like, well, then you also have to pay $22 per tire for the whatever. You're like, then why wasn't that on the other? Like, yeah, I start getting annoyed, but it is what it is. What are you gonna do about it? And so
we're here now.
And then one thing I gotta talk good about Walmart tires because a lot of people shit on them, but that fucking hazard warranty.
Yeah,
is so worth it. My parents live out in the country these days, and you'll be like passing the big trucks. You kind of gotta go off the road and shit sometimes because the roads are only so wide. And I've knocked out so many tires with a nail or whatever in one of those scenarios, and then you just take it to Walmart and they just replace it.
Yep, they take care of it. Yeah,
so like
I give them that.
That one is worth it. All right, I have one big thing. All right, let's play a song, then we'll come back. I'll talk about my dog. Took my dog to the vet this week, and then we'll wrap it up after that.
Oh yeah.
But the song I'm going with here is from mine and Bradster X album called Bros. Came out earlier this year.
Dope album. Check it out.
It is very good. I think all 3 of the albums this year I put out were pretty good. And the last half of the year I didn't do shit, but that first half of the year I was very active. Damn it. And anyway, the song we're going with here is called Forever. It is forever, too. The song's long as fuck. I forgot how long this song is, but, sometimes that's just how they get made.
That's how it's got to go, man.
Not on my new album. My new album, working on everything. There's one song over 3 minutes. All the rest, we're going under 3 minutes. Like,
nice.
Let's not waste time. No one gives a shit.
Let's get this shit done.
That's right. And anyway, Forever, A2thaMo and Bradster X. Let's give it a listen.
Let's go.
Have you been getting high so much that you're doing it at work now too? Don't keep going till you've got a drug addiction. Try to leave the recreational drugs for recreational time.
I've tried to do the best I can, but I've not been perfect.
Everything sucks and it probably won't get better. Just waiting for this to be over. Who would want this shit forever? Who would want this shit forever? Everything sucks, probably won't get better. Waiting for it to be over. Like, god damn it, man, this shit, it takes forever. Who would want this shit forever? Everything sucks and it probably won't get better. Just waiting for this to be over. Who would want this shit forever?
Not me, not me.
Who would want this shit forever?
Not me, not me, not me. Scared to live more than to die. Bared all my sins tore up inside. Fear no man, war on my mind. Filled with hate, still on the grind. Been losing pace, I fell behind. Not thinking straight, been chasing time. Sometimes I feel like a waste of space. It's hard to change that state of mind. Then I remember that I'm the shit. Every rhyme is your sign to quit. Not over the hill, but I'm climbing it. Lost my mind, but finding it. Nose on the line, I'm primed to blitz. Tell myself no crying, bitch. But still drive home with tears, they flowing. All I wanna do is die in a ditch. Face my wife like I hate my life, but really I love it as long as she's in it. Hard to explain, but I try every minute. Cause time don't give a fuck, it keeps sticking. So we grab the bong and keep ripping. Wondering what's gone wrong, keep slipping. Down this path, it'll be our rest. We try to change this mood up and switch it, but it's a constant battle. Stressed like soon to be slaughtered cattle. Dressed like getting out of bed's a hassle. Depressed house like a haunted castle. Can't level up without XP. Got a bad bitch and the devil right next to me. But will I give up? Never. Still don't mean I'm gonna live forever, cause
everything sucks and it probably won't get better. Just waiting for this to be over. Who would want this shit forever? Who would want this shit forever? Everything sucks, probably won't get better. Waiting for it to be over. Like, god damn it, man, this shit, it takes forever. Who would want this shit forever? Everything sucks and it probably won't get better. Just waiting for this to be over. Who would want this shit forever?
Yeah, who want that shit?
Who would want this shit forever?
Yeah.
Fuck around and find out you just a hoe now. Living in the future, go to your bio, change your pronouns. Don't matter as long as she goes down. Whoa now, ain't them all going crazy in this bitch like slow down. I can't help it, I just get so lost. I keep on making my music, I don't even know the cause. Mentally. Cause honestly, when you start to make it on your own, eventually it gets kinda cheap. But that's neither here nor there. Start to feel nothing, like I'd rather feel scared, like I'd rather feel something, but I'm just unprepared. God damn it, I'm fucking just tired of all this bullshit. Feel so stupid, why'd I have to be a cool kid with high hopes and big dreams? I like dope, but only smoke green. I know, it seems I'm put together, but I'm splitting at the seams. Think I need a stitch or two, maybe a bitch or two. Not sure what I'm meant to do, I grab a joint and take a hit or two. Cause everything sucks and it probably won't get better. Just waiting for this to be over. Who would want this shit forever? 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 Everything sucks, probably won't get better. Waiting for it to be over. And we're waiting, god damn it, man, this shit takes forever. It takes so fucking long. Who would want this shit forever? Takes forever. Yo, my God, it takes forever. Everything sucks and it probably won't get better. Just waiting for this to be over. Who would want this shit forever? Who would want this shit forever? Who would want this shit forever? Who would want this shit forever?
What makes you think you're going to heaven smoking and drinking and doing all this crazy shit? There's a demon inside of you when you do that stuff, and it makes you crazy like a schizophrenic.
I forgot how awesome that ending sample is.
And I love how awesome
forever.
your ad libs are at the end too.
Those are the moments where I'm like, I can't sing, but I mean, I do whatever that is.
Yeah, you really get in there and it's like, oh shit, Mo's feeling it. We're getting in there. We're getting in there.
And there's something also about that EQ setting that just makes it, if I'm singing through a walkie-talkie, it sounds better. Or whatever.
I'm with you on that.
But yeah, I like that a lot. I think we both killed it. It's definitely when because me and you made a collab album together, maybe another someday, and we do a divide and conquer strategy, and I did the same with Brad. Like, you take Cap, I take Cap, and that was clearly a my song. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And I think Brad really stepped up and fit it, because sometimes that shit's hard as fuck. Like, there are plenty of Brad when I'm like, God damn it, I have to do like this style, and it's just not like against it, it's just hard. It's not your usual thing. Whereas in that one was just right up my alley. When I made that hook, I have I keep notes. You mentioned how you do your notes for your lyrics earlier, send yourself messages. I have a notes app, of course, on my phone, like everybody, and I have it divided into different sections. But one of them is like alt music. If I ever can make another beat, like a song like All Blue, is that the name of that song? And then Pros and Cons, I think so, one that sounds like a punk. All this shit where I've kind of make it sound like I'm singing in a pop punk band. And so I write verses or hooks more. I don't write verses, but hooks for like if I can make it one of those songs. And then that hook was for something like that, but then I just never made another beat. And then I was like, oh, I could fucking make this shit sad as fuck sounding. And so that's what I did. And I think it's great. Also, I think my opening lines is my favorite maybe opening lines in a long time, where I'm like, you find out you're a bitch, go to your profile, change your pronouns. I think it's all very funny. It's like up the times. And I don't know. There's something good about it. I like it.
I like it. Love it, actually.
So, that's that. All right, my dog thing. So I took my dog to the vet this week. Since March was when it first started. It's hard to explain, but she had a busted paw pad. So like her, her back right foot, her furthest right toe, it looked like she had a whole other toe pad growing off the back of it. So at first you're like, oh, there's like a growth or whatever. So we take her to our normal vet, who's this old man who's not that good, but he's cheap. And but there's like horror stories, like he's cut off the wrong leg of certain dogs, and so like you're like, well, you're not going to go anything crazy there, but we'll go for like our fucking shots or whatever. And so anyway, we take him there, and he's like, oh, it's not a big deal at all, just a busted toe pad, and just put some new skin on it. So I went and bought new skin, which is like the liquid bandage, right? And so we were doing that, and it kind of worked, but not really, because she'd rub it off pretty quickly. And then every once in a while, she would like rub it raw, like, I don't know, walking out and doing just different shit. She would like, it's like it looked like a scraped knee, but on the bottom of her foot. And so I had to keep fucking putting gauze and wrapping it up and shit. And then we took it to a second vet that like my wife's friend at work was like, no, this guy's really good. Y'all should take him there. So, you know, about a month after the first one, I take the second vet. I'm like, hey, just making sure the other guy told us right and we're doing what we need to be doing because this thing's fucking huge. And he was like, no, it's a busted toe pad. And he explains a little bit more of just the pink skin you're seeing is like, dogs do not grow toe pads. So if they get damaged, they've just lost it. And that's now this soft, shitty skin that is going to be sensitive. So you got to like let it get calloused up. And he said the new skin wasn't a bad idea if you keep it on it. But you should keep the dog from being able to lick it because my dog would just lick it raw whenever it was bleeding and shit. You know, she'd like try to take care of herself. And so he's like, you got to wear this fucking cone. And I was like, my dog is never going to wear the fucking cone. Right. So I bought boots for my dog and then I put on these little rubber boots. And then that went pretty well. Eventually, never went completely away, but it quit bleeding. She quit hurting it. And, but she still had this weird like lump on her paw. And then basically it's been fine. Every once in a while I have to wrap it up, but it's been not a big issue for the last few months. But then like 2 weeks ago in the middle of the night, it looked like someone was murdered in our guest bed where the dog just, her foot bled all night and she just laid in bed licking on it. And I mean, like the whole comforter was covered in blood. Like it was insane, right? I went to buy all new shit for it. And I felt, obviously really bad for it. And so since everything for 2 weeks, I was wrapping it up. My mom's a nurse, not with animals, but with humans. And she's like, oh, you should definitely use like Neosporin or something. I was like, okay. So I've been putting Neosporin on and wrapping it up. And I bought this like saline solution, wound cleaning spray to kind of spray on it before I do all this shit. So I've been trying to do it, but it just keeps bleeding. Every time I take the bandage off, it's just still bleeding. Like it's not stopping. So called that second vet we went to, took him back there. And then my first place was like a real doctor. I had to wait fucking like 45 minutes. I just sit there like, come on, I know no one's else even fucking here. Like, what the fuck's happening? So that was annoying shit. And so anyway, go in there, show him the foot, and then he's like, oh yeah, that shit's definitely swollen and infected, and we got antibiotics and pain pills for the dog, and I have to give her a foot bath every night, and chlorhexidine, or I never heard of this shit, but it was, in the first aid section, and you like mix this shit with water, and I like soak her foot for like 10 minutes every night. And then we, wrap it up. Like he told me the boot was a great idea. He was like, yeah, it's genius. So he like really complimented, like, I never thought of that. And I was like, oh yes, I'm very smart. And, so he basically like, you're doing everything you can, but you need this medicine. So we got 2 weeks. We have until the day before this comes out was when I have my next appointment. If it does not get better, they're going to amputate her toe. She's going to lose the whole toe. So that's better than the foot, obviously, something like that. But he claimed the reason why is if he cut just the toe pad off that's like swollen, she would still put weight on it because the toe's there. And then it would just kind of happen again. But if they take the toe, then she'll shift her weight over and then it shouldn't be as big of an issue. And I'm like, I don't know. So it's probably going to be expensive, but I love my dog more than basically any person on earth. So I'm going to do it. And hopefully it doesn't. I'm hoping like I'm doctoring her up every night. I'm taking great care of her, but it is still sometimes bleeding, sometimes it's not. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, but shout out Nymeria, the best dog. Very sad.
For sure, man. Shout out Nymeria. That sucks. And I've always like, even though I've never had a dog myself, like anytime I've been around, like anybody who has dogs, like my mom has dogs, Nasty's always had dogs. But like the paws of a dog are very unique. Like that skin on it, I never knew that like if something happened to it, it couldn't grow back. Like that's some new shit for me to learn. But like it's always felt very unique and damn, yeah, that sucks, man.
Yeah, I'm a big dog fan, but really it's because dogs like me. It's the reason I like certain people. It's like they like me, I like them, or like I've always had good experiences. But when we got this dog, I didn't want it. My wife was like, I kind of want it because my wife had one dog when she was young for a little bit and it died, and she didn't really grow up with dogs like that. But she got in her head she wanted one, and then I was like, no, because I'm gonna love it. And then I have to take care of it and buy it shit. I mean, like I was like, we don't need all this shit. And then she went ahead and got it. And then of course that's what happened. She's like, always with us and shit, but it's good. I'm glad she did once it happened. But originally I was like, no, God damn it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. but she is the best dog I've had. You know, and I think you always think your current dog's your best dog, but
it's like music.
Yeah, it is somewhat like that. But I think it would be hard, even if I got another one in the future. I do think I would be like, I don't know. She was kind of the, she has a lot of personality. And then when my parents see me, my dad just gets so into like, the dog is just always staring at me. And then when I say a word, she like react like my dog is listening to everything I say all the time. And my dad's like, God damn, that dog was just obsessed with you. And I'm like, I know. I don't know what it is.
My dog loves me, man. What can I say?
Yeah. And so, yeah, she is very, we feel horrible, with her little foot in a boot, and she's always kicking it because she wants the boot off. But I'm like, you can't be trusted. I try to trust her. The last time Skinny was over here a week ago, and every once in a while we take the boot off to like, just, let her not be in a fucking boot. And I was making beats for about 15 minutes, and it's like, oh, the music's loud. No one will know. I look back. She's fucking licking the goddamn, ripped the bandage off. She's bleeding all over everything. I'm like, God damn it. I trusted you.
Back to the boot.
Yeah. So she hasn't had a moment without the boot around me since then. My wife's like, well, I'll watch her. And I'm like, all right, but I can't trust myself. I might get distracted. And so got to have the boot on. So anyway, yeah. All right, we got to wrap it up here. Well, you got any Christmas plans? Business as usual? How's it going?
Nah, man, business as usual. Like I said, I may re-release Psychology Sessions just because my catalog is so much thinner than Nasty's anyway.
You could just re-release it as one album, right? Probably, like just the Psychology Sessions album.
Yeah, that was the last album I put out.
Oh,
and
gotcha.
then my plan for next year is to see if you want to EP executive produce these Psychology Sessions into a cohesive album.
Yeah, probably that.
If you've got you're good with finding like the internet clips and the TikTok clips, something that just kind of brings them all together. Only thing I hate about it, I don't have rough vocals for all of them. So like I think only the first one I mixed, but then you mixed the rest of them. So those four, they'll be kind of out of place from the rest of them. And I know I don't feel like recording them again, and then I also got a whole bunch of fucking new beats that I want to make shit with, but I know I'm gonna put them out again anyway. So I figured I just put them all out at once. I'm not going to re-release it the same way, with 4 song packs. I might as well just put out a nice 12 song. That's a nice little album.
Yeah.
And like I said, I love those songs. I think they got better as they went. And, I'm looking forward to getting them back out there on the DSPs. But they're on Bandcamp. So if you liked them or you just didn't hear them, SouthernCom4rt.bandcamp.com. That's COM 4 RT. And then Sir Nasty, all his music, same thing. His is sirnasty.bandcamp.com. You can also get A2thaMo's music on Bandcamp. I suggest you stream our music and buy it. That's the best way to support the people you want to support. If you don't support us, you don't matter anyway. That's right. All I got, man.
Hell yeah. And like I said, I recorded a bunch of music yesterday. I have 3 verses that I have to finish, and then I'll actually be done with this next time unless I add more. And then I'm waiting on some stuff from you for it and from Brad because I want to make sure y'all are on there. And then Karma, but she's off in the military. And I was like, well, I'll just wait till you get back. But I didn't realize I was going to get done so fast. So I still will wait, but I might set up like some singles and shit, tease it out, all that sort of shit. Honestly, the singles also just boost your numbers so much. Like it makes it, it is the smart play. But then you got to make art. And then I'm so over making art. And the first song I want to put out in the new year is called Needle Nose Flow, and I don't know what
where you want to go with that,
like with the art. I'm like, I don't fucking know. And the only reason why is because on the song I say get a grip like a pair of needle nose somewhat early, and there's not a hook on the song, so I just had to choose some phrase, and then that's the one I went with because that's what sticks out to me. And if I have a song where I just fucking rap the whole time, I always add flow to the end. So that's where the fucking title came from. Nothing too crazy, but I'm like, what kind of artwork could I even fucking do? And then I could just do a generic, like it's just the words. But then I'm like, well, I don't know. We'll see.
You'll figure it out. You good with especially the singles. Like I know they end up eventually disappearing once the albums come out.
Yeah.
But your single artwork, I think it's top par.
And then I have the album name I've come up with, but I have to figure out what that art will be. And I feel like I have to actually get like real pictures of me. It's been a long time, but I'm so unphotogenic. And I'm always telling like, hey, I just need you to take random candid pictures and hopefully we get something that works. And then she was like, you got to tell me when. I'm like, I don't think you know what the fuck candid means.
Candid. Yeah, that's not candid.
And she's an English teacher, so of course she does. She's smart as fuck about vocabulary. But
yeah, she says she wants a cue. And you're like, I can't give you cues. Can't do it.
I know I've mentioned this all the time, but it is it's one of the most things I've most identified ever with on a TV show is there's an episode of Friends where you find out that Chandler Bing cannot smile for a picture. And I relate so hard. I can't do it. And it'll be like, he just is like, does a, fake smile or whatever. And I'm the same way. Now, yes, there are pictures of me where I'm smiling and I look decent, but I didn't know. Or like I'm laughing and someone caught me off guard or whatever, and I didn't have time to like fuck up my face before the flash. But I'm just not photogenic. And then there's this also like the person I am in the mirror looks so much different than like the person I look like in pictures. And they say it's something about the way your face is flipped or something. But I don't know. So there's like times where I'm just like, that's not me. But really the person in the mirror is not you. That person in the camera is you.
but that's the one you see the most. So you feel like that's the one you like.
Yeah. You're like, no, that's the
one you've crafted.
And I'm like, I would be more attractive if my face just flipped. How does that even fucking make sense?
It doesn't. It doesn't.
That's like what they claim, the scientific reason. But I'm like, it doesn't make sense to me. Anyway. So yeah, happy Christmas to all the people. Or I guess it's Merry Christmas.
Y'all have a Merry Christmas. Be safe for the new year.
I'll be on the road.
Coming back 2026 with plenty for you.
And we're gonna end here for the reason for the season. I sent this beat already to Southern Com4rt in a pack, but I resent it today to be like, hey, we're gonna listen to this. And I sampled the Lord's Army Kids Choir song from some TikTok video. And I save a lot of religious ones, some for like things I want to do that like is more my religious perspective, to slip and stuff. And some I'm like, oh, this might fit on some of Southern Com4rt someday. So like I've taken them for both reasons. And this one was just to challenge myself. I didn't even know. I don't necessarily think you'll use it, because I think it is challenging. It doesn't even sound that good, like melodically, but I did technically sample the Lord's Army Kids Choir into this little dance track. And also Skinny sampled in the beginning from an early music episode sample that I cut.
What up, Skinny?
I forgot. Yeah, we'll be on in a couple episodes, I'm sure. We'll get there. Every 5 episodes is way faster than it seems. You get there pretty quick.
It honestly feels like he's on there all the time. Like I said, it's somebody
and the music,
listens to it.
He has the music stuff too.
That's true. That adds on to it. But yeah, like it doesn't feel like he's on it any less, honestly.
I mean, I'll ask him if he wants to keep. I mean, I know he does. He enjoys it, but I know he's also busy as fuck all the time. He's like showing up on his fucking work clothes, like, all right, let's do it. I'm like, dude, if you could be, I mean, we could have waited. But he feels the responsibility for the team. But all right, man. Again, appreciate it. Also, shout out Graveyard and all that shit. Y'all sell some t-shirts somewhere if people want to buy one.
Go get the merch. Graveyard, spreadshirts.com. You can customize your own shit. They got a lot of high quality stuff too, man. I was looking through there.
I haven't
different hoodies
shopped on there in a while, but I used to buy a lot of stuff on there. But then
they've upgraded. I think next year, all my wardrobe, I'm gonna get all Graveyard wardrobe. Like they really,
the key is
a lot of selections.
You got to find the t-shirt you like, because for a while I was getting some there that they kept shrinking on me a lot, and I was like, this quality's not quite good enough. So,
you got to pick the right one.
Yeah, but you get on that TikTok shop, you start buying fucking $5 shirts from somebody somewhere. You're like, but it's comfort colors. All right, I'll trust. I spend so much money on TikTok, it's unreal. Someday I'll get into it.
Their marketing is really good. I won't lie. Like they know how to fucking catch you.
Well, it'll literally be people like that are on other websites, and you go compare the prices, and they're just 40% cheaper on TikTok for no reason. Like, and you'll go look at their store page, you're like, they're the same thing, but they're just, I don't understand the reasoning. But anyway, I've been buying lots of shit, a lot of junk, to be honest. But it's the Christmas season.
Probably that's what you do too, though, man.
Yeah, well, basically, I just was like, got my wife. I kept seeing all this shit, and I was like, well, my wife would like that one. And then finally, I was like, I'll just buy it all. Her birthday's a week after Christmas. So if it doesn't get here by Christmas, it'll be a birthday gift. And that's kind of my thought process.
No, it's a good plan.
So
It's a damn good plan.
Peace, bro. And Lord's Army beat coming down.
Let's go.
I